Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I am your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Big Mac Shepherd. I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter from an asteroid close to Brow.
Hi, I'm Daikami-sama, and I play Solas of Ebha, who is Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Ogma.
Hey, this is James. I play Ockar, human paladin from Brawl.
Hello everyone, I'm Sailing Mortar. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hi there, I'm Levalithana, an elven wild mage.
Hey there, hi, I'm Zach, and I play the character of Lafdul Moonglade, a specialty priest thief multi-class from Realm Space. This fun little gimmick is coming up with fun little titles, and his current title is the Laundering Chandelier Full-Known Objects. In other words, they look rather sad. Lafdul acquires them and launders them, sells them on,
Oh, you clean them. That's so nice. All right, guys, everyone, if you want your items cleaned, you
I
now
knew you
know
were
who
gonna
to talk to.
You
I knew you were going to pick up one of my words, and I thought it was going to be the forlorn word.
you mean that you are the one person who will wash my golden pantaloons?
So we
You'll
left
find
off...
out there.
It's fan fiction time.
We left off last time not talking about pantaloons. You guys had done a little bit more exploring of the ship. It is a new day. You're wrapping up before heading back up to space. Was there anything that you wanted to do left on the octopus itself?
Have we gone through everything?
There was one thing we want. Are we going to travel? That's we've rested, haven't we? So we will be starting to travel.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean once we're in orbit.
That's up to you.
Sorry.
Like you can discuss that with the others. Like you definitely get the feeling that they're ready to move on, but they might be convinced to take a couple days. Something like half a week or more is probably going to be out of the question for them, though.
Well, no, even if it's just a day or two. I mean, there was the I was away for this bit, I think, but obviously he said the elven prisoner said he lost his spellbook, and there's something you haven't considered doing was locate objects on the ship to see if it's hidden somewhere. I mean, it's probably in Lorak's bag, but
yeah, it might also be hidden in one of those treasure boxes that we haven't looked through.
What do you mean we haven't looked through?
I don't think there's any that you haven't looked through yet.
We have looked through.
Okay, sorry. All right. Fair enough.
If
it's hidden.
If you are trying to do that, we could, me and Leva, do a round of identifications at the same time.
Yeah, I don't have the spell memory. I didn't have time to memorize. I didn't think to grab that until.
Yeah, but if we have to memorize all our spells, which we do, I mean, there's only a few spells that we memorize now, and we can. How many identification spells can you cast? Can you memorize?
I mean, you can memorize as many as you have slots. The question is, how many can you cast? Remember, each one knocks you out for 8 hours.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So 3 a day maximum.
Probably not 3 a day. Probably not 3 a day, because I think that I would say that would not allow you to get the rest, because you need to rest to recuperate from the spell, but that doesn't, I would say that would, like, the resting for that can just be sitting around, relaxing in a room, but if you then immediately go to sleep, then I think that I might have an issue with you being able to regain spells the next day. Because that feels manipulative.
How about 2 identification per day?
You could definitely do that, yeah.
Okay.
I have 2 memorized.
What would be the break between them, though?
Let me see. I do know. I think I have 0 for today, because it just didn't go into the 2 hours that we had for memorization.
I think other people will have to do your shift if you're doing two of these identification things.
Well,
That's
I
fair.
mean,
It's like she's doing 16 hours of work.
yeah, but at the same time, most of you guys, it's more of a, you know, that's when you're awake, that's when you're up and ready to respond. If, you don't need to get people to cover for that. I mean,
Okay.
We're
You
also,
asked.
we're also a bit limited in the pearls. Just a moment, I'll have a look for how many we have.
We found 4. I have a bigger pearl.
Okay, so Leva has 4. Leva took the 4,
You
and she had 2, so we have 6.
I had
took them
few
out your own
pearls,
money, or?
Yes, because I made a mistake in calculating, and instead of calculating the whole thing again, I decided to spend the 400 gold and just get those 4 pearls for myself. Because
well,
I mean,
since we're in a green space, you might use the iron.
I don't want to. I'm quite happy with spending the gold. She doesn't have she doesn't have enough iron to spend any of the spiel or iron. She's quite happy to spend the gold. So that's what she did. And so already calculated and this kind of subtracted, etc. So
I have four pearls on myself, so
we have.
I can do 2 rounds of identification.
Mm-hmm.
Two identify spells per day.
I actually have 5. I had 1 left, and I have 1 special one for the 250 gold.
Yeah.
the Star Knights and Octave Arcane, since their plan is currently to go back to reorcs, they might have a few that they'd be willing to sell you at cost, and then they'll just replenish their supply when they get back, or sell you some of theirs or something like that. So if you're interested in that, you can talk to them.
Leva is definitely interested, because we never have enough of those, and we probably want to identify certain things, even if we don't do it now, if we want to identify them later.
I think we're identifying stuff where potentially giving away, I guess.
Well,
like rings, amulets, stuff that we're not certain
away and making sure that the items are not cursed or.
Wow, that's from them to figure that out. Just like it's on us.
I didn't get everything that Lafdul said before. He was overtalked.
To be honest, I forgot what I was saying. Back quickly.
So, I mean, the thing is like, you might be able to get a couple things identified, sort of thing. It might be more of a case of, like, if you're pretty sure certain things are a certain type, like, if you're pretty sure that a certain weapon is a thing, or a certain wand is a thing, then you could skip identifying that and just go with your assumption. Whereas something that you have absolutely no idea what it is, you might want to consider doing the identification on that to get a better idea before deciding on the split. That might be a way to do it.
Didn't we get few items identified by Alias Bardic?
Yeah, she did.
Do they have special pearls as well? The 250 gold ones?
They do not.
Oh, pity.
Considering that spell's pretty unique, the actual desire or need for them is pretty low.
Yeah.
It's worth asking. I mean, they can't
you
say
could
more
always
than no.
offer to teach them that spell in place of a... Well, I don't know.
Would they be interested?
They might be. Aelia can't cast that. Amon can.
Are we all together at the moment?
What would they be prepared to trade?
Didn't you learn teleport off, Jim?
They'll put it this way. They won't put it in a claim on the spellbooks if you let them copy some spells out of your spellbooks.
Oh, that's no problem. Okay.
That sounds great.
Yes, they can have
Erase. You get your spellbook back with no spells in it.
I think that's a very good deal.
Okay.
That's where Lafdul casted Bird Ethics on them.
So they'll do that. Each one of them will be taking a spell today, and if you guys decide to hang around another day, well, for like every day in orbit, they'll look through your books and copy something out, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
first of all, I did want to ask Ockar, since you weren't here last week, were there any questions that you specifically wanted to ask Njord? And I'm going to kind of pretend that this was all folded in then, kind of thing. You were asking at the same time.
One thing I probably would have wanted to ask when and why he decided to start following Loki.
So he sneers at you and says, was it his grandfather or his father that was the priest of Odin?
His father.
His father, okay. He sneers at you and says, you and father were always so insistent on Tyr and Odin. He wasn't the right one for me.
So what, you decided to follow a trickster god and go around killing people?
Worked for a while. If you hadn't come along, I'd still be doing it.
I guess it just shows that Witsai was actually right.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I'd probably also ask if this was his only pirate base.
Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know?
Trying to see if I can think of anything else. I wasn't actually expect you guys.
Well, they asked some stuff, but, you know, I mean, being that you're, you know, his relative, I wanted to give you the opportunity to.
Right.
You're planning to have him for at least a few days, so you're welcome to stop by and you know, wherever you put him and ask him more questions as you desire. So
I guess I asked if he'd rather the Elven Navy put him to death or he'd be sent to hard labor.
I'm not sure that they'll give you the opportunity of making that decision for me.
I can at least put in a request.
They can do it.
Whether they do it or not.
They can do with me what they will.
Well,
Lafdul will pull Ockar aside, obviously outside of the hearing range, but he'd be like, the more information we get out of him, so he can't barter with the elves, the more you get to, well, the less chance of him getting away with his crimes, because obviously if he holds on to that information, then he has bartering power. They can't, well, they can do stuff to him, but you know, obviously it costs them more to do those kinds of interrogations, as it were.
right.
Leva totally forgot and is trying to do it now to cast ESP.
I thought you said that you didn't have that.
I said I didn't have, what's the other one? Identify.
You didn't have that on the initial thing, because this is the next day spell.
Yes, this.
Yeah, this
isn't the next
yeah,
day.
I'm folding this into the original interrogation.
Yes, I didn't
Ockar
have
wasn't here.
ESP at
Yeah.
that time. So I'm sorry, apologies.
That's fine. That's fine.
Did you guys ask him about the big insect thing?
I'm not sure we did.
Then I'm gonna ask him, what was that big insect thing that you were in, and how did you get your hands on it?
He laughs a little bit and says, "That's something you'll want to talk to your friends the elves about."
You're saying it's one of their creations?
Oh, we found out it belonged to the elves.
I'm trying to get his side.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just something that came up last week.
He doesn't expand upon that.
We found charts in your ship belonging to Gray Space. Have you been doing operations there along with in Kryn Space?
I've been there a time or two.
What exactly made Kryn Space and Gray Space so appealing for your piracy activities?
Kryn Space is ripe for the plundering.
Yeah, they are a bit backwards on their currency ideas.
They still have gems. They still have jewelry.
I don't have much more to ask at the moment, though. So
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've got other days to ask him stuff, and Leva does have the ESP if you wanted to circle back the following day.
Lever
Yeah.
would like to ask Ockar to ask a question.
Okay.
And then a bit more about the orc, whether he knows more about the orc. What's his?
Oh yes, this orc that was part of your crew, and ended up escaping.
Wait.
Not escaping.
This orc that was part of your crew. Who is he, and what was his purpose?
Targrok, why don't you ask him?
I'd like to get your opinion on him since you're the captain.
He served me well. He had information. Information that turned out quite useful.
And what kind of information was that?
Oh, I can't just give you everything now, can I?
Well, why can't you? Aren't we family?
Oh, we're family, all right. That doesn't amount to much, though, does it? You hunted down me, slaughtered my crew, my friends. Is that really what family does?
It is when they've taken the wrong path and start killing others.
And who says that it was the wrong path?
The law and the gods.
Loki is one of the gods. Do you not believe that? Do you deny his divinity?
I don't deny his divinity, but I also don't deny that he's the one that will bring upon the end time.
Yes, well, maybe it's necessary. Maybe the world needs to be cleansed and reborn.
But does it really need to be killed in such a fashion? Can't we fix it ourselves? I'd rather believe that we're not that horrible and that we can be better people.
Well, you're welcome to believe that if you wish. I'm not so naive.
You may call it naive, but I call it faith and hope. And that faith and hope has carried me through many battles.
Well, it carried you through this one, I suppose.
Yes, it has defeated your negativity. What do you call it when somebody is like biased towards and thinking things are going to be terrible?
Pessimism?
Pessimist.
It certainly carried me through your pessimism.
I suppose it has at that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see who the eventual victor it will be.
Well, if it comes to a war, I'd like to stake my side on a god of war, and not one of just tricks.
What's wrong with tricks? Lafdul walks off annoyed.
And I just chuckle some at that.
He definitely keeps his eye on Lafdul walking away. Curiously.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Okay. Alright, so, the following day, you guys were doing some last-minute searching of the octopus. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to search on, or are you good to set off into space?
I think Braxon wants to see if there's any way we can figure out if that orc had any other items that were here. Do we know if he attacked anyone with a weapon?
What do you mean?
So far
If
as
he
you know,
if he threw a dagger at someone, then the dagger would be an item belonging to him.
he was just up on deck using magic, as far as you guys know.
He pointed his mace at someone. I don't know if he was using it as a focuser.
Right.
But he didn't leave that behind.
Okay,
No.
fair enough. So we've only got that inkwell that may or may not be his.
A lockbox.
And the lockbox, yeah. But I don't know whether the lockbox will fit in our magical tracker thing.
We've not tried fragments of owned object.
Yeah. Okay, so I think my concern is we want to work out what the magic items are, and we need to get money to recover our investment in coming here. So that is important. But this thing with the orc could perhaps be a big threat to the elves. So we might have to forego doing things we'd want to do in order to warn the elves, or we might need to immediately start searching for that orc and worry about identifying things later.
Well, at the moment, he should, in theory, still be in this sphere.
Yes. So if we try something in the tracker, we find out whether the tracker will work or not work. If the tracker won't work, then we don't need to chase him. But if the
If
tracker
it doesn't work, he might be in another plane.
yes.
Or it's simply not his.
In my opinion, I think we should let the elves handle that.
Well, we don't. The elves are our friends, even though the elves here haven't been so
I'm your
friendly.
friend.
Also, this could go a long way in clearing that debt with the elves, since it seems that the orc was the one who knew about those insect things.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I'm not so much worried about the debt, but the elves have saved some of our lives.
I'm worried about the debt. We've been having to pay that off forever.
Yeah. I mean, we want to return the favor, but I'm worried that that map that could be some sort of threat to the elves of Grey Space. We might need to go to Grey Space fairly quickly.
Question about the map. And I'm going to bring the Elven officer in on this. And this is going to be something that happens at some point. Obviously, when we
I
talk
think
to
we'd
him.
have to go to his cabin.
It's fine.
I'd assume it
where it
have-
happens isn't
Yeah.
immaterial.
And I'd make sure, obviously, the other officers are here. And I obviously put a proposal to...
Hang on.
What?
While we're talking with the elf about the elf stuff, let's not involve anyone else right now,
What do you
as
mean?
it's sort of secret stuff for the elves.
I think he just means the other players.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the other players.
No one else.
Sorry, yeah.
This
Yes,
is like
definitely.
during breakfast or something.
Yeah.
Our plans,
Sorry,
what we
I
plan on
agree.
doing.
Sorry, I
And
totally agree.
Lafdul would bring up the whole... we can obviously you're worried about the information on the chart. Obviously, it reveals sensitive information. I'm all for, and I support, obviously, getting rid of that information. What I have as a suggestion, you're worried about, obviously, someone finding this map, and obviously they can immediately discern, well, not necessarily immediately, but, you know, it does it have any annotations on it or anything? It's only the elf that recognized the locations. It's not like elven base
Correct.
here or
correct. It's just as it like you would have to go there to find out what is there, kind of thing. All it is
the only
is
reason
all it is essentially it's like directions.
yeah.
You
So
know, it would be like you had an address. You don't know what's at the address until you go to the address, kind of thing.
We could. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Being a practiced user of magic, that you could erase the text, so to speak. What if we were to erase the text from the map, but copy the information onto a document and get our mage who knows cryptography to encrypt the information? So there's no obvious connection that this information that we know is connected to the Elven base because it's not on the map. It's just some encrypted information on a document somewhere.
The
That could be
problem
in
with
any
that
one of our
is, so first of all, you've got a chart.
Wow.
You can't.
We've got
You can't
a
copy
map
the
maker, haven't we?
information. Right. You can't copy the information off of a chart onto just paper and have it mean the same thing. You'd have to copy it onto another chart.
How long would it take to make enough of a duplicate, so to speak?
At
if we're using the
at
scribe
any
spell and
mention
stuff
of duplicating this, he's like, that completely defeats the purpose. The whole point is to reduce the copies of this information out there. Why would you want to keep it for yourself?
we don't. We just need to know where these locations are so we can investigate it all. He knows these locations. We have only this information. Once we lose it, we can no longer chase this orc.
I can guarantee you that he is not currently at these locations.
Oh, of course not. You would need extremely powerful magic to travel that fast.
I can say with good confidence that he's not going to be at these locations in the future.
Okay.
Right.
Those locations are Elven Navy bases.
Well, yes. It's not hard to put two and two together.
So,
which would mean that if he was at one of those locations in the future, either he's a prisoner or he's conquered it. And you're talking about other things going on that is well beyond this kind of, the map. The charts.
Did you know anything about that orc? Because he seems to be the one behind everything. I think Red Njord was...
I never saw his face.
Essentially a puppet. Is he just an ordinary orc to you?
I never saw his face.
Oh. I'm the only one who did, and I do not have magic to transfer that. It's a shame Solas didn't see that.
Doesn't Solas have something to get the memory of yours? So he could
he can transfer his memory.
I can transfer my memories, and show images from my memory, but not from others.
Yeah, it's a shame I don't have access to 4th level thought magic. I could do this otherwise.
Old?
Mm-hmm.
Do the others have any type of magic that could help us in some ways?
I don't know.
Let's say that Lafdul, can you paint? Could you paint a portrait of this guy?
I could never do it justice. Although I could use a scribe spell. What? Yes.
You've used that memory read spell.
Yeah, I have it memorized as well.
Which level is it?
Memory read is third. Mind read is second. I have
And
both.
it's the thought sphere.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
no,
would guess
your spell... Well,
I have minor thought.
you do?
Yeah. I just checked
Since
my
when?
character sheet.
Oh, you've got all the good spells that I've got. I was like, how the hell did... Yeah, because me and Ord were like, how does he get access to a thought sphere spell if he doesn't... Yeah.
So
What does that mean?
I could use that memory read on Lafdul and see the orc disappearing.
And
how do you get
what
access?
would that give you? What would that give us? So we have two people who've seen the orc. Can you paint?
After that, I can use my spell to transfer memories.
Aren't you just a regular cleric, though? Even if you're a cleric of Ogmi, you don't get your specialty priest spheres. And thought's a specialty priest one, as far as I know.
Yeah, I'm not seeing thought as a...
I have marked this as a minor when you told me to mark it.
I don't remember doing that.
Since I haven't touched these priest spheres after that.
Because you should have major access to all astral, charm, combat, creation, divination, guardian, healing, necromantic, protection, summoning. Minor access to earth and water. Wards, and then law.
And what about the others? Couldn't they do something like that? Couldn't
I don't have law as at all.
You should have law.
You might have told him when he first. You might have told him when he first made the character that he had thought instead of law.
I don't think I would have done that.
What book's it in anyway?
He's a
facing advertising it.
You might have done it by mistake, and he thought it was the right thing this entire time.
I suppose it's possible, but no, you should not have access to thought.
Okay.
You should have major access to wards and law.
So does any one of the other two groups have access to spells that would help, like what Solas just described? Getting a picture of the orc and passing it on to us, because it's in their interest too, you see, to know who it is.
I could. The thing is, if Red Njord and any of the others have seen Orc, I assume Red Njord's interacted with him, then I could read the memories and then I could see the Orc enough to keep making mental notes of his physical appearance.
Well, you could also go through possible interactions with the Red Njord about those insect things and their plans.
Oh yeah, I plan to, but I mean, he's unwilling. I can only do this once a day. How many days do we have?
You have 2.
Yeah. And I can do this once a day on, let's say I have to rest before I can do it another time. I think. I'm going to double check that.
I mean, you have more days than that than to get to the moons of Zivlin. It's a weekish trip, something like that, I think. I'd have to go back and look at the exact numbers.
Yeah, the spell can't be cast again until the priest's constitution is restored, which has only regained 8 hours of rest. So once every rest, I can cast it.
Okay.
And going all the way to Zevlin, we need to make sure that we have patrols going by where we're keeping these pirates near all the time, since I imagine they're going to attempt an escape attempt if we take a longer path.
Well, we're splitting them up.
Well, we'll get to
even
that.
then.
We'll get to that in a moment. I mean, like there's still some logistics on getting. You still need to get up to orbit. I mean, you can make the decision before you get up there, I suppose. You want me to pull you over to your deck plans?
Yeah.
So you can decide where you're putting them?
I don't think we're doing anything on here anymore, so I might as well.
Okay.
One thing I'll say to the elf, I mean, well, sorry, I forgot his name.
Lenelius.
Obviously, this is obviously an open conversation between the officers. We may end up obviously chasing this person to Grey Space if it ends up going there. You said you're from Grey Space. Where is your post there? We could take you there, but I mean, I assume you'll want to stay with the Elven Navy.
The Elven Navy will return me to my post. I cannot discuss the specifics of it.
Can we have...
We can't take you to Grey Space, can we?
I mean, like, you're going to go to the Elven Navy, and he's expecting to get off with them, have a debriefing, and then he may not even go back to his... He may be transferred someplace else. He's definitely... You know, there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be some rest and recuperation for him, because, keep in mind, he has been constantly tortured. His body's in a bad shape.
Yeah.
Pretty much retirement after that point.
Well, not necessarily, but like he needs some rest and recuperation. He may get a desk job. Like, there's all kinds of things that could go on. He just needs to go back to even if you were to take him to Grey Space, all of those things would then happen. So
no, I was just thinking if he's with us, we can keep the chart with us.
Well, we
really
need
want to
to
keep
with
the
it.
chart.
I mean, he's pretty insistent on that. You wanted to try. You did want to try it in your in the locating device, but
could we have a quick vote on something I started suggesting right at the end of last week? I don't think people are in favour of it, but I thought it'd be nice to get it out of the way.
Yeah, what was that again?
So one of the things I came up with was, as we have Red Njord ships, and nobody knows we have Red Njord ships yet, except Red Njord and the Orc, it's possible those ships could be used to launch an attack on the pirate bases. So one option is that we get the other two groups to come with us to the elves and see if the elves will take on the ships so that they can attack the bases. We know the location of two of the bases, so they might be interested in doing that sneak in.
So you don't want us to go there? You want
Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up as an option is I think we might also need to hunt for the Orc, and hunting for the Orc might be so important that we have to give up on the idea of the pirates. But it's a one-time deal that we either do or we don't do. So I'm seeing three things that we might need to do. We can get rid of the pirates, which would be nice for Kryn Space. We can track down this Orc that's some sort of threat to the elves. We can go to the elves and talk to them first. Or we can go to Grey Space and see if the elves in Grey Space need us. And getting rid of pirates would be nice for people with shipping, but the other things might be more of a threat.
Okay, here's the thing. My mission here is to deal with Red Njord and have him taken to justice. This Orc could be a bigger issue, but we don't know if that's actually the case, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to abandon my mission to go track him down.
Okay. But if we go to the elves and drop him off with the elves, that would take several days.
Yes.
And then we'd be rid of him.
Yes.
Would you need to stay for the trial? Or do you think you could give evidence?
I think I can just give them the evidence that we have and then be able to leave. I don't think they're going to require me to stay for the trial.
Hang on. I got a brilliant counter to that.
That would
You
be
stay-
up to the elves.
You stay. Leva stays with you, and when you're done with your trial, you can just teleport back.
Does Leva even know teleport?
Yep.
She does, but she doesn't want to come.
I'm sorry for offering you up. I just thought that was something that was not considered.
I'm afraid Leva's priorities in this particular case would be to follow the orc at all cost. She wouldn't even consider going to a trial.
And even in that case, we would be trying to teleport from a stationary place onto a spelljamming ship in spelljamming speed, which probably would not work out very well. It would probably end up with me and Leva's pace.
Not
It does
necessarily.
No, actually, hold on. So, the place would be moving, and that would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So long as the teleport worked, yeah, it would be fine.
That's what it says.
I certainly would have thought that a moving object would be hard to teleport onto, but I guess I'm just thinking Star Trek logic.
Yeah, no. It's magic. Now,
Braxon
there's
sounds...
upsides and downsides to it. I mean, you know, the chance to teleport high and low doesn't have quite the same problems as teleporting high and low to, say, a house on a planet. But I mean, keep in mind, planets are moving fast too. They're spinning and they're moving through space.
Yeah.
But it's all it's all frame of reference. The frame of reference is the location in the ship, and that is not moving with relation to the ship. If you were trying to teleport into a spinning thing inside the ship, like a hamster wheel, then that might be a problem. But even then, it would just be, you know, like, knocked around and hitting your head and taking some damage kind of thing, so...
Are these two in the same plane? Because it says clearly interplanar travel is not possible by means of a teleport spell.
Yeah, that means that you can't teleport to the astral, the ethereal, the elemental planes, the outer planes, that kind of thing. This is all the same plane.
Okay.
Would you be able to teleport between crystal spheres? Or
no, you can't.
They're not in the same plane?
No, they are in the same plane, you just can't teleport to another sphere. You can teleport into the phlogiston. And you can teleport from the phlogiston into another crystal sphere, but you can't teleport from one crystal sphere to another.
So you can teleport from the crystal sphere into the phlogiston and then into another crystal sphere.
Yeah, but you can't just teleport into the phlogiston. You have to know a spot in the phlogiston, which is pretty difficult.
Okay.
But is it even possible to land high or low in the phlogiston?
Yeah, you teleport into a known place and you go beneath it.
But
if you teleport high or low on a ship, that means that you're teleporting above or below the deck that you wanted.
Oh no, that is a misunderstanding. I was talking about teleporting straight into the phlogiston, just like that.
Right, but the problem is that you unless it was literally you're at the crystal shell wall and you're teleporting literally to the other side, I wouldn't let you do that because it would have to be a place. Like you could teleport to a known beacon, flow beacon. You could teleport to a ship that you know is out there, kind of thing. So, but you that would be like teleporting into the sea. You know, where in the sea are you trying to teleport to? You know, if you wanted to teleport into the Atlantic Ocean, like. It would have to be a place in the Atlantic Ocean that you'd be teleporting to.
I had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to stay for the trial, but Lev wants to go, here's the thought. I could see about hiring a wizard that can cast Sending and have a message sent to you guys when I'm available to rejoin the rest of the group. So then Leva could teleport to me, and then we could teleport back to the ship.
I would at least incur one-way failure. Because she wouldn't be familiar with the location.
Why don't we see?
Why don't you hold on? Why don't you wait to see what the elves want first, and then make a decision based on that?
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. If we go and tell if we go and hand over Red Njord, and then we tell the elves that there's a threat, and we tell them we might be able to catch the orc, they're going to say, we'll put him in a cell, you go do your thing. Or if we say, perhaps we should go to Grey Space, they'll talk to us about whether they want us to do either of those things.
Or,
whether they want a hand.
Or
Now
they
you
might
do the
decide
same
they want
thing.
to go after the orc themselves, and they
Well,
might, yeah, they might say
Let's
that.
go and ask them. Let's go and ask them what they want to do before we
Yeah.
go back and forth. Everybody saying, "Oh, I think they will. They should.
Well,
whatever."
Well, the only reason I brought this up was not to talk about it in great detail. It was that there is a sense of urgency. So yes, we want to identify all these items, but I think it's possible that we might have to let things go because of the need to do things fairly quickly.
Can't you do the identifications while we're traveling?
Yeah.
They'll have some chance to do that. Yeah, but again, the other decision is: are we going to take Red Njord's 2 ships with us, which means asking the other 2 groups to come with us, or are we going to write off that option and let that go?
I say we had the other 2 groups come with us with the ships.
Well,
you need to ask them what they want.
Yes, exactly.
We don't even know if this tracking even works, so it's a moot point if it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. All
right, do you want to get up into space and then make all your decisions, test out the stuff, and that sort of thing? Because you do need to get up there, clear out, and get away from the dragon here.
Is it still stormy?
Have we done all we want to do down here?
Yeah, that's
have
that's
we
fine.
packed up everything, looked in every room that we want to look, that we can't come back to?
Well, the only thing was that cave with the cave in, but somebody said they thought there was a dragon on the other side of that.
Oh.
So
I just think
no,
that it's old.
Yeah, it's old. I mean, how old exactly it is, it's hard to say, but it's probably at least months old as opposed to hours, days kind of thing. So
I think that's something to write off. I suppose the one thing I'd probably want to do is fly our giant guides back.
Before going up?
Yeah, before going up, rather than have them walk through the jungle on their own.
Well, we've got to tell them up, so we put the ships into orbit first, then we go from orbit to the planet, because the ships might get attacked on the way into the orbit.
And I don't know if we need to pick up any food supplies. We could maybe buy some food at the same time.
Do you owe anything to the giants right now? You
Yeah.
fully paid them, right? Like they weren't expecting a cut. They weren't expecting a cut from this. They got some payment.
No, they're not
already.
They're not expecting a cut.
We haven't marked off exactly what they were getting out of the.
They got unworked metal goods.
Yeah, they got it, but I can't remember if I marked it off. I'm going to check.
Okay.
Yeah, but they've been paid. But we could give them a gift if there's anything that's useless to us.
Because they will actually say that they're perfectly content with being let off on the ridge and making their way home. They like traveling through the jungle, and your ships are tiny. Like they would be very uncomfortable on any of your ships.
Labor will offer them a few more stones with continual light if they want.
Oh yeah, they'll take a couple of those. Do you have?
No, I don't have any ready. We'd have to bring them back.
Oh, no, they'll pass then.
Okay.
I mean, how much do you care about that, so to speak? Ebha? I'm asking you personally. How much do you care about giving them some kind of continual light? Because I have 3 daggers I can give them.
How much do I care? Lema just thinks.
If you don't care, I'm not giving them no daggers.
No, the point was that Lema agrees with Braxon when he says that they should get something more, that they probably appreciate it, and she knows that in the beginning, when we came down, they were quite taken in by the continual light stones. So every time we talk about something like this, she offers her the stones, more stones with continual light on them. So, but she does have to memorize the spell first.
We've got a couple of things in the treasure that say giant.
That's just
So
giant
if you like, what you
size.
could do is give them some more unworked metal
Mm-hmm.
that they could carry back. If you really want to give them another reward, that's probably your best bet right now.
What do you think, Braxon?
Because they're
Yeah, I mean,
they're like number one. We're good to make our way home. You know, we helped you out. You paid us. Good camaraderie. However, your ships are claustrophobic, cramped. They have to stand on deck during rain and everything like that going up and wind up through the into space and then back down again. They're a little scared of space. Like, they've heard stories about it from Sully and stuff like that. But it's still a weird, strange thing. None of them have been there. They don't really want to go there.
that's right. Sully's the only one who's been in space, isn't he?
And they definitely would say it would be a bad idea to try to travel, through the sky over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can just give them the unworked metal. They'll, pack it away in some sacks and bags, put it on their back, carry it home, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of those things we bought as a cover story as trade goods. So we would sell them, but if it's...
Yeah. Don't even know how much this is worth, so to speak. That's the problem. We got like 3 tons of unworked metal. Obviously, we only gave them 50 steels worth, but I don't know if we're giving them like 2,000 or if we're giving them 100. I don't know its value.
So, right.
We work it out after the game.
Yeah, so first of all, like, you didn't give them a full ton's worth. What I will say is that if you give them more, then what I'm going to say is that, you're down to 2 tons. Between the 3 of them, they can carry that much.
Alright, I will change it to 2 tons. It's easy enough.
Yeah.
Cool, that sounds good.
We've now compensated them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, well, that's also like an offer of friendship, so if we ever come back.
And so you as you're taking off, you're like, before everything, one of the ships just kind of ferries them over to the edge of the ridge, and they make their way down the mountain. They wish you well. Aggie thanks you for a wonderful time. They're going to have tons and tons of stories to share when they get back, that sort of thing. So
we'll be sure to visit. This planet's got some dragons. If we ever need dragon components, you know where to go.
Yeah. So the other thing that's that out of the way.
That sounds morbid.
That's the giant sorted. The other thing is, are we thinking we'll ask the others to take the ships with us to the elves, or write that idea off?
Do you want to get? I think you can get up to space first.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So everyone good to move up to space?
Yep.
I'm doing that. That means I lose my spells. I think I was one of the people that was volunteering.
Yeah. So you wanted to fly pilot the eel because you wanted to test out that helm.
Yeah, I'll just have to take the hit, and I won't have spells for 24 hours.
Well, do you want to cast a spell?
No, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Maybe not once-in-a-lifetime for me, but for you it is. No, because I'll leave spell...
Hurry up and decide.
I'm not going to do an interrogation here.
Hurry up and decide.
I have to do it. Yeah, I'm piloting it.
Braxon says to Lafdul before he goes on the helm, don't you have some sort of spell for picking up memories in rooms and things?
He's already used all those.
I could do my memory read.
Can you do that spell on the helm to see how this thing works?
I can't use any of my magic on the helm under my granted powers.
No, I don't mean while sitting on the helm. Can you use your spell on the helm?
No, it doesn't work on objects.
Oh, does it work on people?
Only people.
I thought you had a spell.
Read memories
you read people's memories who were in the room based on the strength of the emotion.
Yeah, I thought you had a spell for reading rooms.
The
Yeah,
thought
but
capture
you-
spells.
Right, you read the memory, like, so you don't pick up information about the room. You pick up someone thinking something in that room. And the stronger their emotions while they're having a thought, the more likely you are to get that that memory.
We did fight and capture the dwarf on the helm room, so that would be most likely what the Lafdul would get.
Yeah.
More
Well,
often
like
than not.
you might get that. You might get someone saying the magic word.
The point is
making
that he
the
already
elf-
used all those spells up.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a gamble. I used them up on the orc because that's our red herring. Either it is something or it's not, and I needed to find out.
Okay. All right. Well, if we persuade the other two groups to come with us to the elves, then you'll have another chance to examine the helm.
I could cast memory before I go on helm. I would still have some spells.
Who do you
Yes,
want to cast it on, then?
I could cast it on Red Njord or... Sorry, 1 second. Someone's decided to phone me at the same time. Cancel. Red Njord, because we want to try and figure out... That's the most pressing thing as to where he got... The memory I would try and get is... Where did he acquire these machines, I guess?
Nice.
That would be the focus, and memories evolving around that scenario for 8 rounds.
So 8 rounds of his life.
Yeah, of an event around...
Does he get a saving throw?
So 8... Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does get actually quite good saving throws, because I assume this is going to be a kept secret. If the memory... Yes. The memory is 6 to 12 months, no bonus. 1 to 4 years +1, 5 years or more +3. If he's trying to keep it secret, +5. On top of the +1 and +3, if it's relevant.
Okay, and it's saving throw versus spell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's unwilling. The odds of pulling this off is pretty hard to do it as an interrogation.
Yeah, it fails off. It fails.
Yeah. I mean, a fighter, or at least I assume he's a fighter. I've already only got like half the dice to begin with. Probably +5 plus whatever. So I got like a 5 or less to win. And I lose 1d3 con if it matters.
Okay. So yeah, it did not work. He was very much resisting.
He saw me doing shenanigans.
Okay. So so you guys have
Braxon, no, sorry.
you guys are towing the cargo barge. The Star Knights are towing the octopus, and Lafdul is piloting the eel up to orbit, and then it's going to be towed by the Octave Arcane, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Braxon know that Lafdul was using that spell?
Yeah, I would have said.
Okay, so he says, would that work more easily if he was asleep?
No.
Or maybe unconscious? No?
He's simply unwilling.
Ah, I see. Okay. So we can't get him drunk and then let you try again.
I mean, there's nothing to say I can't trick him into doing it, but it's very hard to trick someone when they're aware of who you are.
Yeah, I think it's...
They relive the memory that you're trying to read at the same time.
I think there's
they're suddenly thinking about it.
I think there's an element of an unconscious decision. Like, this is getting to a very personal element of them. Would they want this information out or not? And it's not something that can be changed through most normal means. There might be some other means that can do it, but most normal means wouldn't be able to.
What about Leva's friends? She has a friend spell on a scroll.
Doesn't
16
work for
level.
me.
That's I can tell you that would definitely not make a difference in that.
And
Braxon.
charming him? Charming?
Maybe.
Charming would work if I had access to the spell, if I were the one who were casting it.
But couldn't, if let's say, if Leva charmed someone, couldn't she then tell this someone that Lafdul is a friend too? He regards the caster as a trusted friend and ally to be heeded and protected.
Yeah, it doesn't spread to other people though. Like their attitudes towards you are altered. Their attitudes towards other people are not. Just you telling them that isn't going to make a big difference.
Do you have a scroll of charm, person?
No, I know the spell.
You see, if you had a scroll, I could attempt to cast a scroll. Being a thief, I can do mage scrolls.
Let me see, do we have charm? Just a second. Charm person. Nope, just have the spell.
And the thing is that even for charm to work, it would have to be something that they'd be willing to share with a good friend, which, you know, not everyone, like, there's a lot of secrets that you're still not willing to share with a good friend, kind of thing.
Let's see. What does friends do? I need
hypothetical
situation. Friends increases your charisma, which affects reaction adjustments and stuff like that. It's best for an initial encounter with someone who does not know you.
Okay. Yeah,
like, if you're trying to bluff your way past some guards, you know, like you're in a cart, traveling along, you got someone hidden under the hay, you cast friends, it's nothing, I just taking this hay through, there's, you know, I rolled a reaction adjustment based on this new modified charisma, and that's how they react, kind of thing. So, Red Njord has already reacted to you.
How about if you helped him escape?
Who, you?
Lafdul. You've got that hat, haven't you? Could you change yourself into an orc? And then when I go in to interrogate him, you come in and shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, yes. There's a million possibilities and scenarios we could play out in order to trick him into giving us his trust, so to speak, which you're getting to. And yes,
maybe there could be some illusionary spells on the ship to make it look like it's all on fire.
It doesn't matter. As soon as I start reading his memory and I start going to a particular memory, he's going to start resisting, and that's when the saving throw kicks in.
I see. Okay.
And the thing is, like to get him to trust Lafdul in a disguise would probably be something that you'd have to keep up for weeks. Like that's the kind of thing where, you know, you'd have to be embedded with him, because someone like Red Njord, I mean, even you guys, you wouldn't just instantly trust someone, right?
Except Ockar. I mean, he just turned up in an alleyway and said, "Hey, can I go in the Underdark with you?" And we went, "All right."
I mean, it was still one person versus 5 if he turned on you, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Braxon's starting to trust him just about now.
But yeah, I mean, so ultimately, you'd have to get Njord into a situation where he'd be willing to share this sort of secret, and that's not necessarily something that you can easily predict or figure out, kind of thing.
Fair enough. So. Forget I said it. Let's move on.
All right, so the Star Knights. Actually, that I just remembered. The octopus still has a helm. Did someone want to pilot that up or not?
Do the Star Knights have someone that can pilot it?
Some of the knights probably could.
I mean,
they can tow it too, but since it's got a helm, you can either do that or do you guys want to get it dismounted? Both of them have major helms, so
yeah.
Do you want them to sell off the major helm from this one?
Yeah, can do.
Well, the eagle ship's helm we have to switch in this.
Yeah.
It's the one that belongs to elves.
Yeah. But flying it up into wild space gives Lafdul a chance to try it. What I would say is if we send up the ships separately, we need to have a crew, don't we? Do we have to have a crew even if it's towed?
No. If it's towed, no.
Maybe we should have a crew.
It just trashes your maneuverability.
I think logistically, we should have a crew for going into wild space in case a dragon attacks any of the ships.
Well,
which I
we're
know
not towing any ships. We're going to be the ones that engage.
Yeah, okay. Well,
while they are flying off.
Yeah,
we're the bait.
Well, no, you're towing the cargo barge. The dolphin's towing the cargo barge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, the cargo barge has got the elven stuff on that we want to take to the elves. So we've got to protect it.
And keep in mind that cutting it loose in an atmosphere means that it's falling.
Yes.
It's only in wild space. It's only in wild space that it won't do anything like that.
It's 20 tons, yeah?
25.
Couldn't the flitter technically... Not the flitter. Well, technically the flitter could, but the shuttle.
Yeah.
Shuttle.
But again, it does mean that you've got someone else on another helm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, flying things up separately into wild space is an advantage. If we did it on the same day all the ships came down, then people would man the helms anyway on some of the existing ships. But if we're doing it the next day, then I mean, someone gives up the spells for a...
It just popped into my head that you might want to do that, but you guys are spending a lot of time thinking about it. It doesn't really matter. Let's put it that way.
Oh, well,
I mean, you're already towing the cargo barge, so.
Yeah.
How about it sits onto the helm of the octopus, and we get going.
Leva, you want to pilot it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right.
Then we are finally off planet because we've been talking about going there for the last I don't know how long.
Okay.
Why can't Ockar do it? He's only got one spell to lose.
Leva's already volunteered, so Leva's already volunteered.
You can't identify once you're
Leva's already volunteered. Leva's already volunteered. Like to get things moving on.
Leva sits on the helm already. Let's go. Right. Let's just go.
Yeah. All right. We'll get you enough crew so that you've got some weapons manned.
Okay.
I'm back.
So you guys do make it up to space. It is slow going because of the storm, but uneventful. On the trip up, Lafdul, do you want to try anything different? Are you doing anything, or are you just piloting? What do you...
I'm going to whale the ship invisible.
You sense a difference in the vessel, and it's not until you get up into wild space that the others report that your ship did vanish for a time.
Can the
this is amazing.
octopus do that too?
I'm sorry?
Can the octopus do that too?
Nope.
Okay.
It's the special helm on the eel ship.
And it took more than, you sensed a change after about a half an hour while you were still traveling up, and realized that your ship was visible again.
Oh.
So it only lasts a half an hour.
Still. Can I re-engage it, or I see how long it takes before I can...
You're not on the helm long enough through the atmosphere to... I mean, you tried a few times, but it doesn't work.
Probably once a day.
Possibly, yeah.
Or once per a new helmsman, maybe.
But yeah, it is
Probably try and
it
get
is
that
a
helm
helm.
identified.
It is a helm that allows the ship to disappear for a time.
Well, that's good.
Ah, is this a minor helm or a major helm?
It's a minor helm.
Still.
Well, we'll take it to the elves. They might not think it's theirs. They say it's not theirs. We keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
shame we can't put this on a flitter.
once
You just go anywhere.
once in orbit, you tie up the vessels as desired. You've pulled in close, so just some gangplanks can get you guys from ship to ship generally. The octopus is tied to the Star Knight's dragonfly. Did you want to unmount that major helm, or do you want to let them sell it? Do you want to make some other sort of arrangement?
I don't know that we have the money to buy the major helm off the other two.
No, we don't, but it would allow us to keep more of the magical items if they keep the helm.
Yeah.
I mean, both
It's
of their
a
vessels,
stand-
both of their vessels have major helms already, so their expectation is to basically just sell it and.
How much
split
is a
the money
major
with you.
helm?
New, they go for 250,000. However,
That's for the arcane selling and the standard price for
yeah,
them.
and you basically can only trade them or sell them back to the arcane for a very, very substantial cut.
What, less than 100?
It varies on how much you can negotiate. But the point is that if the arcane catch wind of you selling a full price helm on the open market, you're probably not doing business with the arcane ever again. That's one of the ways that they keep the monopoly on.
Braxon says to the others, because we've sat down and assessed the magic items and stuff. He says, "What if we were to trade the major helm with the other two groups for the minor helm we have on the flitter? Would we have enough money to cover the difference?"
Are you talking to just the other party members, or are you bringing in the Star Knights and the Octave Arcane to ask them?
I'll talk to the others first, unless they want to talk in front of everyone.
Well, that is an upgrade. We would.
Were we going to have a meeting with everyone? We can have. I don't mind having a meeting in front of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say that major helm would help our other ship go faster.
All right. Now, do you mean the shuttle or the flitter?
Shuttle.
The shuttle.
The shuttle.
Okay.
Shuttle.
Okay. Prysant and Amon discuss it a little bit, and then they turn to you and they offer a proposal. You can have the major helm, they can have the minor helm, and they will split the profit from that.
Yeah, they keep the profit. We get an upgrade, they get money.
Lafdul, do you really want to keep the major helm instead? That's not the one that makes you invisible, is it?
No, but we're not going to be... That's up to the elves whether or not we get gifted it, so to speak.
Okay.
Unlikely elves. Well, they do occasionally give out rewards, like these helms, but...
Sounds good with me.
Depends how important this elf is.
Well, yeah, but that's a separate issue right now.
Yeah,
We're focusing
trading
on
the helm.
Let's talk about the major helm right now.
That's a good thing. I like that.
That sounds very generous, but obviously I can't speak for the Star Knights.
No, the Star Knights and that was Amon of the Star Knights and Prysant of the Octave Arcane discussing that. They, you get the major helm, they take your old minor helm, and the two of them split the money. Their two groups split the money.
Braxon will shake both their hands and say that is extremely generous of you. and I appreciate it very much.
I mean, they're probably getting more money out of that splitting it 2 ways rather than splitting a major helm 3 ways. So.
Yeah, but
Are
we
you
get
sure
an
they
upgrade.
want to
They
shake
get.
hands? Sorry.
Yeah, they shake hands. That's fine.
There's a pandemic going on. No shaking
Oh,
hands.
I need to do a spell that interacts with Braxon and his constantly need to shake hands. Maybe I make Braxon contagious or something.
Just make him stink. Make him smell, so people get out of the way. He comes along and they run away. Be careful, he comes.
All right, so the Octave Arcane has taken on the regular crew members from the pirate ship to turn over to the authorities at Reorks. You've got Sard, Silithia, and Red Njord.
Yeah.
Where do you want to keep them on your ship?
That's a very good question. Do we keep them on the big ship or do we keep them on the little ship?
Well, there are wards. There's one on the library. There's one on the shuttle.
They are not
And there's
going
one on the
anywhere
helm
near
room.
the library.
No, but it's basically we can't.
Yeah, we should hide them.
We can't.
There's nothing
put
valuable.
any of them walk through the library, even if they're escorted. The ward will go off. Basically,
Right.
they go near the helm room, the ward will go off. You just obviously think about that when you're maneuvering. Basically,
Can we put them? Can we put them in the shuttle hold? And if we
near the
take
helm room,
if we take off the minor helm and we
Yeah, I
give it to
suppose.
the other two groups, and we take the major helm but we don't mount it, we keep
Yeah.
it on the Battle Dolphin. That means we can't use the shuttle, but it also means they can't escape on the shuttle. Or can they all? Can they?
if they know the spell to make a helm,
Can they jettison the shuttle?
Yeah,
And
that can
just float
that can still be pulled off.
Right, but they couldn't escape into
Spelljamming
spelljamming speed unless they could do something with a chair.
Correct.
Right. So
Right.
does Braxon know that you need to use a chair to use that spell?
Yeah, I think most of you guys would be aware of.
I've got.
Right. Okay. So we
got a spell on the
remove
squirrel, so
we remove all the chairs from the Battle Dolphin, from the Dolphin shuttle.
they could rip out the decking, and just make a temporary chair.
It has to be a proper chair, I believe. Well, Braxon might not know that. Braxon might not know that.
You guys might not know the specifics, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And plus, they need to know the spell. I mean, most.
Yeah.
So
odds
far
are
as
one of them probably-
you know, you need a chair. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't want to metagame. So I think if we lock up the major helm in our treasure room, and we fit it as soon as we've got rid of our prisoners, or
Yeah.
we fit it if we decide we must launch the other ship for some reason, then they can't escape in the ship. They can only jettison it.
We should probably dismount the flitter. There's only a handful of them. They could easily get in the flitter.
Yes,
And
definitely.
you probably have magic that can encompass the flitter.
Definitely.
Because it's so small.
Yeah.
Alright, so again, the flitter can still be flown, just not at spelljamming speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's not really anything we can do with the flitter. We've got it lashed down. If they
Yeah,
escape,
but,
they can
I mean,
unlash
it's not the first time someone's run off with a flitter before. That's why I want that flitter dismounted, like entirely.
That would
dismounted.
That would mean destroy it.
Oh, you can't take it off without.
I mean, you can take the helm off, but it can still be flown, just not at spelljamming speed.
Yeah.
And it would only have an SR of 1 in tactical combat, but it can still be flown.
Yeah, so it means when we get to the moons of Zivlin, if we go near the atmosphere to pick up some air, they could try to escape then and just glide down.
Well, they might be able to glide down, but that's still that would be a function, essentially an unpowered flight. Ideally, they'd want to go to an asteroid that has a gravity plane as opposed to a planet that has a gravity well.
They might crash and die.
They might,
but they might not care. They're going off to get the death penalty, probably. Yeah.
Okay, so would you have a guard on them at all times?
Yes.
Multiple.
Okay.
Yes, and I think.
What would the guard? What would the guard be?
I'd
mixture.
I'd say
mixture races.
It's a marine. I'd say.
Dwarves and
We have a dwarf and Gif marines, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're both.
And I try to be involved with the guard as best I can.
I mean, the Gif. This is metagaming. But the Gif have magic resistance. The dwarves have really good saving throws against magic.
It's not necessarily metagaming for you to know that.
Well, yeah, we know an experienced dwarf is usually quite resistant to magic.
Yeah, I think we should have like a dwarf or gift marine on the door.
Well, the problem is that they're in the cargo hold. There isn't exactly a door.
Then we have dwarf and gift marines watching them.
Okay.
Oh, I've got. It looks like
there is a door, but like. Number one, there's the cargo hatch up in the up above the hold itself, and it's a big room. If they're not actively watching them, they could still slip their bonds and hide around cargo and stuff like that. You've got cargo in there.
That's true. Yeah.
And we need people. Yeah, we have dwarf and gift marines actively watching them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can have some people watching them from the hatch as well.
Yeah.
One of each, or what?
I'd say at least one of each.
No,
yeah.
I'd say put 4 in at least.
And
well, keep in mind but keep in mind that you still have to have shifts.
Yeah.
Because one GIF kind of thing can't the same GIF can't watch them for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, the GIF and the Dwarven Marines are fighting crew. They're not our sailors.
So if we have 2 people watching them, it's an 8-hour shift and 2 shifts. So 4 people.
2 shifts would be 12 hours.
Yeah, sorry. I can't remember if we're doing 2 shifts or 3 shifts.
You're doing 2
shifts. We got 6 Marines and 6 GIF. Just 3 lots of 8 shifts with 2 each.
Yeah, if we've got 6, then we'll put all those on them in 2 shifts.
I'm pretty sure you only have 5 dwarves.
Really?
Okay, someone needs to volunteer to dress up as a dwarf.
Who's the shortest?
Probably Braxon.
Nah, Lava. I mean, Ockar lost a couple of inches recently.
I would think.
Braxon also has the.
I need to be right back.
I think Braxon might be shorter than ever.
All right, so do you want 1 dwarf and 1 GIF on 2 shifts? Or do you want 1 dwarf and 1 GIF on 3 shifts? Or do you want some other combination? I need to know in case anything happens, if your ship gets attacked, where people are, that kind of thing.
I think the 3-shift idea is good.
So one of each on 3 shifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they could overlap a bit, so they can have breaks, and we'll have officers go around and check them, bring them food and stuff.
And they are tied and gagged unless officers are present.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we untie them and ungag them one at a time for food.
Okay.
I think we'll after checking through the cargo hold to make sure they're not up to no good, although they still might try something. We'll take them out of the cargo hold one at a time. What's area 2 on the hold deck? Hold equipment. Yeah, I think we'll take them into area 2 in in the hold deck, and give them food, and then take them back. So how many prisoners is it? Is it 5?
3.
3.
Got
Okay.
Sard,
so we'll
Salithia, and Njord.
Yeah, we'll probably stagger their meals a bit.
Okay.
Keep them facing up away from each other too.
Yeah.
Do you want to give them a bit of tea?
Braxon wouldn't mind if you did.
It would
Do we want
prevent us
to-
from interrogation.
Yes, it would.
Is there anything more that we need to find out from them?
We might think something.
We might think of something when we meet the elves. What does this tea do?
Basically, it makes them look like they're dead for a while.
How long? Is it long enough for us to get to the elves?
At least a couple of days, maybe a week.
Oh, does it vary?
Yes.
Okay, well, I suppose if you gave it to them, then if somebody wakes up after a couple of days, we can interrogate them.
Fuck.
All right. So I'll brew up some Deathmark then.
You drugging them?
Yeah, he's thinking of giving them something that's going to make them docile. Anything that stops us having a mutiny is good
Not
for me.
docile, but
The sleep.
I mean,
Catatonic.
we
Like,
can't interrogate
it's
them.
it's essentially like a near-death coma kind of thing.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Braxon's okay with that. They're people who've murdered without question other people, and they're highly dangerous.
And it won't actually kill them, so.
Yeah, it's not actually killing them. It's not torturing them.
The question is, do we
Baron
want to interrogate them all?
A dwarf's going to be fairly resistant to that. Just bear that in mind.
Okay, well, if 2 of them pass out for a week or 2 days, then we have one we can talk to. So we can see what happens. And if we have one person who's conscious and the other 2 are unconscious, that person is less likely to have a mutiny.
I mean, I can always still try to get maybe read on them if they're asleep.
I'm guessing that once you do this, though, they won't take any food afterwards.
Oh, they won't eat it.
Does it actually sustain their life, though? If
Yes.
I assume it's magical.
Yeah, they don't need food or water while they're out.
Sounds good.
And they use very little air.
Sounds like it might also be useful for us if we ever get into trouble and we're running out of air. We could have volunteers to take that sort of stuff. I'd volunteer. If we were all going to die and you could put me to sleep for a week.
All right. I see how it is. You don't want to be dying and gasping at air. You just want to be out in your sleep.
No,
You want the easy option.
I'm just saying it seems like something useful.
Captain goes down on the ship. Captain sleeps when the ship goes down.
Okay, so we can offer them food and water as they go in. We've also got some cabins over there. We could clear our cabins out, maybe. 4, 5, and 6 is our crew quarters, isn't it? On the main deck.
On the shuttle?
Yeah.
4, I believe, is the helm room. Unless you've
could-
decided that the
4
helm
is
room
the
is...
stay room, chart room.
Oh, right.
6 is the hell room,
6
sorry.
is the helm room. My bad.
Why would you want to put them into rooms? Just leave them where they are now.
Well, you could lock the door.
Yeah, if they were in rooms, we could lock the door, and if they were in rooms, they wouldn't know what was happening with the other 2.
Yeah, okay.
And I say knock on the wall. They might have communication knocks.
If they are tied, it's really hard to knock.
I have a question for Finn.
Okay.
What does it taste like? Is it?
I don't know. Never tried it.
Is it just a generic tea, so to speak? You know, it's not water, obviously.
Maybe you could try some later.
It's various herbs.
So it's going to be like a herbal remedy of some kind.
It probably doesn't taste great because of what its effects are.
I mean, what do they do if they don't drink it? Do we force them to drink it?
No, we just tell them. It doesn't even matter if they know. We just tell them. we put you to sleep. You use less resources and you're less likely to run away.
Why would they surrender like?
I mean, if you give them no choice but to drink this, like if it's drink this or drink nothing, either they're gonna dehydrate and die, or they drink it. So,
I suppose.
Can we mix it with rum?
I would say that would probably ruin it.
Okay.
I don't think you can mix it with anything. I mean, for one thing, it would water it down, and watering it down would be bad. I mean, quote unquote water.
Yeah.
I know what I should do. Lafdul's like, you can have your ram, but you got to take your medicine first. Lafdul play doctor.
So, Finn, quick question: is there a saving throw?
I believe there is. Let me look that up real quick.
Oh, the thought did cross my mind to use Ascension Feast as well.
Yeah.
Memorize
so, who wants to put them all in the hold, and who wants to put them in rooms?
What do you mean rooms? What rooms?
Yeah.
All rooms.
Save is negate if save versus poison.
Okay.
We'd be putting them in our rooms. Locked.
My room cannot be used or Leva since we are both living in the library, basically.
No, our rooms on the shuttle. There's 3 rooms upstairs. We can lock them separately, or we can lock them in the hold. Locking them in the hold would allow us to look through the hatch at the top to see if they're trying to sneak up behind the door.
Well, no, you've got a dwarf and a gif watching them, like actually watching them in the room with them.
Oh, in the room. Okay, fair enough.
And you can't put them in one of the rooms in the.
I mean, if you don't want guards in a room with them, then yeah, I would say put them in one of the other rooms or something like that, and have the door be guarded. But
right, it sounds like everyone prefers the hold option.
All right, there's a glyph of warding on the main helms room of the shuttle.
Oh, right, so we can't use that.
In the main helms room.
Yeah, we can't use that.
The other 2 rooms you could.
Yeah.
Okay, so
all right.
The decision is in the hold, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then save versus poison. Any penalties to that or anything like that?
Nothing listed.
Okay. How quickly does it act? If it says.
It doesn't say.
Okay.
Causes drinkers to fall into a cataleptic trance. Characters display muscle rigidity and do not appear to breathe or have a heartbeat. While injuries cause them little bleeding, they can otherwise suffer normal damage. Those under the influence of this tea sleep for 2d4 days, during which time they need no food or water. They need only 1/20th the air unaffected people do and can survive freezing temperature.
Okay. Then it would probably be, like, not instantaneous, but over the course of a couple of minutes kind of thing. That would be my
poison's like 1d6 turns for the sleep. 1d6 rounds, I mean.
Yeah, but it's a bit different.
Yeah, I know.
Number one, your poison's not magic.
I need to get magic poison.
Okay. So after they've had their first dose, none of them fall asleep. Njord would say to whoever, I mean, if you gagged him, then the next time he's ungagged, like for the next meal or something like that, he would say something like, I thought that was supposed to put me to sleep. It tasted awful, but it didn't have any effect, as far as I can tell. And he'd be, like, smirking while he says that. How many doses do you have, and do you want to keep trying?
Let's see. I have 4, I believe, and we can try again if we need to. Can always make more.
Okay. You want to keep trying it then?
I have 5 doses of Deathmark, actually.
Is that 5 people, or is that 5...
I don't know that we ever really decided on that.
I think
Not
there
the
is
most
For
well-written rules.
for now, I'll let this be like 5 meals worth
Okay.
for the 3 of them.
Because usually when you make a tea, you make a whole pot. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, is this something that you guys want to do? Keep giving it to them for their meals until you run out?
Can do. Do you want to
Yeah.
save?
Yeah.
Do you want to
Yes.
save 1 dose for Lafdul for later?
What? No.
I thought you wanted to
Lafdul's
know.
trying to prevent you from putting them somewhere where they just die.
I thought you wanted to know what it tasted like.
You know, elves are really resistant to sleep magic because we don't sleep.
Right.
You do know that, right?
Some elves sleep.
They're not elves if they sleep.
I think the elves of this crystal sphere sleep.
I don't think you know either way. It doesn't really matter right now.
Yeah.
Is the hold the same as the strong room?
The hold is not the same as the strong room. The strong
All
room
right,
Hold
is...
is our cargo.
That's fine. That's all I want to know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the strong room is on the main dolphin down at the lowest deck. It's the rear room. All right, so
Library.
the second attempt.
Is this like days going past or something?
No, this is a second meal. I'd assume that you're. Well, I mean, it depends on how many meals you're feeding them. Actually, that's a good point. We'll hold off on the second attempts for later, just because the first attempt would probably be, round of meals once you're up in orbit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you guys need to figure out some other things going on. You wanted to talk to the Star Knights and the Octave Arcane about going with you to the Elves?
Yeah.
And see whether they've got something like Solas and Lafdul wanted to do about the oak. Whether they can help with this.
Okay. So then we'll say that probably at the same time that you're discussing the helm situation, you'd also bring up this idea of going to the elves. Amon says, it is certainly a worthy idea, but at the moment, we Star Knights focus on the inner planets, traveling around Kryn Riorks. We get out to Zivalin occasionally, but it is a longer trip and harder to keep us going, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure that that's going to be the best for us, and I'm not even sure that the elves are going to want our assistance on anything.
Okay.
Priasant would say, my people are rather eager to get the cargo offloaded and get back to our search for the Spelljammer itself. So you can try to persuade them, but they seem inclined not to.
Yeah. Well, Braxon wouldn't want to be persuading them. He'd want to be getting everyone's opinion, including our group and their group. And if he's outvoted on it, Braxon would say, I guess the benefits of being able to pretend to be Red Njord's ship are something that we can possibly let go for the greater good. We have had a hard time, especially the especially the Star Knights who've lost 2 members. So
yes.
it might not be.
Yes, indeed. And it's a bit of an open-ended commitment. It makes it difficult to ensure that our mission is being completed, so to speak.
Very well. Perhaps then the fact that Red Njord ship has been captured and there'll be a trial on Brooks will
Well, oh yeah, for the other crew members, right?
For the other crew members, perhaps that will put a damper on pirate activity for a while and restore confidence in shipping.
It may do. It may do. Certainly, losing one of the larger pirate vessels out there should cut down piracy a fair bit.
It has been a pleasure working with both your groups.
Indeed, and we'd be happy to work with you again, Amon says. If you're back in the sphere, or you need some assistance for another specific mission, definitely look us up. And
Solas asks if they would be interested in establishing correspondence. Basically, he would be interested in learning what their adventures and recording them.
Unfortunately, it is a bit expensive sending messages between spheres regularly. But
well,
if we encounter anything of note, I'd be happy to try and send something on to you.
Solas is very grateful about that.
And
you're interested in the Spelljammer, aren't you?
And Priasant says, the Star Knights aren't. Priasant says, certainly if we do manage to find the Spelljammer, we will keep you in mind for letting you know what we find there and what it's like. That is not something that you or your party has expressed interest in, I believe?
Personally, I'm interested in, but it's not our goal.
I might be interested one day, but I'm talking like a few hundred years before I chase up the end days of my life.
But if we discover anything regarding that, I would be happy to send you a message also.
We would be very grateful. Thank you.
I mean, I'm not totally sure it exists. When I was young, I was told it's where Qatar lives.
Oh, it exists. There have been too many people who've seen it for that to be in doubt.
Well, I know that one day I'd like to go there and find out if Qatar really is the captain. I heard a story of him taking gods from one sphere to another on the Spelljammer or something like that.
I was told that all that go to the Spelljammer never come back.
Yeah,
it might just be the equivalent of going to Afterlife because you die when you go there.
Well, if we hear anything about it and we don't want to go to it ourselves, we'll try and get a message to you.
I mean, we travel around.
Well, even if we were going, I would think it would be prudent to let Octave Arcane known.
Yeah, we don't have any problem with that. Although
at least Solas considers these two groups friends after this battle.
Oh, there's something we need to ask the Star Knights is where can we land on Kryn that won't get us into immediate trouble?
Oh, well, there's Mount Nevermind. They're always open to the gnomes. There are always open to foreign visitors, but they are gnomes. There are some smaller ports. If you took your shuttle down to the coast of Ergoth, you could probably blend in fairly well. Palanthus is a large city, and they're going to have the most resources available to you. Again, I would recommend taking your shuttle down. There's a few ports on the... yes, indeed, there is a library there. There are a few
Yes,
ports on the southwestern part, or the southeastern part, I'm sorry. I'd avoid those, as Naraka and some other locations like that. I do not think that those would be places of interest to you. And avoid the large, swirling maelstrom in the Blood Sea. That would be extremely dangerous.
Well, there was this. I would be regaining this with leather. Wasn't there an island of glass or something? Have you heard of such a place?
An island of glass? No, I've heard of no such thing. There's another large continent, but I have not been there myself. I know that there is a large empire of minotaurs there.
Hmm.
Mostly, we stick with visitors to Solamnia itself, since that is the land that we know when we go to Kryn.
Yeah, aren't you part of that order, if I remember correctly?
Well, I myself am not. I'm a wizard myself. I'm a member of the Towers of High Sorcery. But no, all of the other Star Knights are indeed knights from that land.
Knightly orders. Closest. Well. It's a bit of a foreign concept for me.
I mean, there are elven military orders, and
yeah, I know, but I'm
things that we
playing it
consider
like
Okay.
Lafdul wants to. I'm saying, so is that the only knights group? There are the knights. I mean,
There are some military orders that I suppose one could call knights, but no, those are the only large order that I'm aware of. As I mentioned, I have not been to the other continent.
Is it only he that was speaking? Because I had specifically asked one of the knights about it. They'd heard.
You'd have to go talk to them. This was when you were discussing the disposition of the helm, and that was just Priasant and Amon. And no, none of the other knights know of any other, like, I mean, there's some small groups. Dwarves have some military orders that could be considered knights. There's some paladins associated with other groups. Some of the other.
Did they mention dwarven paladins at that point?
Not specifically, no.
Because I say we got this dwarven armor that none of us can use, so that's probably going into the part, and Lafdul will be like, I assume no one's claiming ownership of the dwarven-sized banded armor.
Well, if you guys want to transition into trying to distribute the
no,
items
I was
now,
just
fine.
it's a topic of conversation I was gonna bring up, because I would say about, well, no one can use this armor. Would you be alright selling it? Because we don't have none of our main officers that obviously could equip it. We make use of it. Would you be alright selling it? You don't have any dwarves amongst you? Or...
I mean, if they don't have any dwarves, I mean, the Octave Arcane might recruit a dwarf, so they might want to keep it around for that. Otherwise, if it goes to either the Star Knights or the Octave Arcane, there's a pretty good chance that they'll sell it or trade it on reorgs. Which, remember, does have a lot of dwarves.
Yeah, and there's the Order of the Chalice, or what?
Yeah.
That has dwarves.
Well, I mean, and specifically, that's dwarves there because it was a town of dwarves. So.
Yeah.
But it might be. I mean, that probably makes a good transition into figuring out who gets what. When it comes to the valuables, you might need to. You are going to need to decide which ones you're keeping and which ones you're. Like, you don't necessarily need to decide who on the other side is getting what, but you will need to decide, because you know, a lot of the monetary wealth that you got is in those items, the gems and jewelry and stuff like that. So you'll need to decide what you're keeping and what you're not keeping. Doesn't need to be decided here. That can be decided out of game. But the items, the magic items themselves, guys ready to start working on that? Or we could actually take our break now and we can start that when we come back. Go a little bit early.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go ahead and have our break now. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, give or take, and see about distributing the items between the 3 groups. So get those, get that information ready, and we'll be back shortly, everyone.